letter in your hands. As you looked out on the lake, I had to give my head a shake, 'cause your beauty stopped my heart. Like the time we wished on stars, forgot about our scars and our fears of the dark. You love, 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 and that's so good. But then your soft and shaky voice, it echoed through me like the noise of church bells chiming in the distance. No, I could not say a word, I froze, and all of what I heard,
During the interviews, people from the cohort talked about two key areas related to the tribes training that helped them to maximize their learning at the Faculty of Education and their experiences during that year in order to prepare them for teachers. The first one was the academic component of the program, the courses that they took during their year at the Faculty of Ed, and also their practicum placements. On the academic side, it's a very stressful year with a lot of assignments and a lot of group work, and the sense of community that we had and the working in our cohort really provided people with help and support during a really stressful, demanding, and at times overwhelming year. So it was really important in terms of getting the coursework done. If someone was having a bad day, then other people were there to help get them over the bump. And as an instructor, I would say that one of the things that we noticed and we feel is that people ask the big questions. So from the academic standpoint, it was really important, and when we went out in the blocks, it was really important because all of the schools that our students do their placements in are tribe schools, and it meant that our students had an understanding of tribes going into the schools, and it also allowed them to practice some of the tribes strategies and energizers and activities while they were out in the block. And the bonus was then we could come back and talk about how it worked.
Using tribes in our group allowed us to get a sense of what it was and how to apply it in our classrooms. It started my learning about the importance of building community as a way of being.
Getting prepared for interviews is one of the tasks that we do in our tribes. And the fact that we can prepare for interviews together in our tribes speaks highly of the program, because preparing for interviews with the people who ultimately you are going to be meeting at interviews and competing against for jobs really requires a level of commitment to the other people in the room, and a trust and a real hope that everyone in the group will do well.
so powerless in the wilderness.
When you asked us to pick 7 names, I remember we couldn't just pick 7 people. I think that showed you right there how close we had all become through the tribe's activities and working together throughout the year, and feeling like we could share things with anyone.
Oh yes, you love, you love, you love, you love.
We see tremendous value from incorporating the tribes program into the pre-service teacher education program at Brock University. We believe it's an excellent program for building cohesiveness within the classroom and building a true sense of community, and introducing the concept of professional learning community to our students. We recognize that many of our students have come from a very competitive background, both in terms of striving for high achievement in high school and striving for high achievement in university. But one of the key issues that we want our students to understand is that collaboration is the pathway to success in teacher education, and in fact in the field of teaching generally. By introducing tribes in the classroom at Brock University, we found that students really come together, they support each other in their learning, they're generally very willing to share great ideas. They're able to be reflective practitioners, they're able to offer support for one another, and as a result we have a much stronger, richer environment that the students are a part of.
The sense of the community that we developed in our cohort extended well beyond the academic side of the program and beyond job preparation. In all the interviews that I did, teacher candidates who had been in the cohort with me talked about the importance of the sense of community when we had to deal with issues outside of school and school life. Inevitably, every year that I've been here, we've had tragedies and family sadnesses that people in the cohort have had to live through and experience. But the cohort group created community around those people and did everything that they could to make sure that they had things around them that would help them get through the tough days. And that went from making sure that there was food delivered at the house, driving people places, helping with homework, getting assignments in, just being there to listen and to provide support. And it was absolutely incredible support that everyone in Group F gives to each other and to those of us who are lucky enough to be working with them. Everyone who took part in the research project highlighted the importance of the professional learning community that was developed within our cohort group and the overall impact that it had on their learning and their preparedness to be a teacher. And they talked about that from academic, social, and personal points of view. And as faculty advisors, we saw the same benefits in all three areas.
Oh yes, you love, you love, you love, you love, you love, you love, you love.
We became that much closer throughout the year, so when it became time for jobs, we were telling each other the questions in the interviews to help each other shine.
I believe that the Tribes program is, or at least should be, an essential part of the pre-service training experience for our teachers. We know now that many school boards in Ontario, in fact, are making it a requirement that students have Tribes training. So the fact that our candidates at Brock University are able to graduate with the certificate in their hand and on their resume gives them a clear advantage when they're applying for particular jobs. So when our candidates leave this program, they have a tremendous sense of the importance of developing a network of support, working with others, and not only sharing with others, but being open to new ideas and suggestions. They have a much clearer sense of how to address the divergent needs of a wide range of students. They are better able at handling issues such as classroom management because they're able to use the basis of the Tribes program for having legitimate conversations with students about their behavior and about success in the classroom.
All of the teacher candidates in our cohort group completed their practicum placements in a school board that self-identifies as the Tribes Learning Community Board. The majority of the people in our cohort go on to teach on contract position in that school board. All of the job ads in that school board indicate that Tribes training is an asset or a requirement for the job. So the board does view Tribes training as an essential learning for teachers in the school board. Data from the interviews, however, indicates that some schools are truly Tribes schools and others are Tribes poster schools. So the posters are on the wall, but it isn't necessarily a Tribes learning community in the true sense. What I learned from my research, however, was that even the teacher candidates who began to teach in those schools built Tribes learning communities in their classroom because of their experience at the Faculty of Ed. Because they lived it, because it was important to them, and because they saw the value, even if they were in situations where Tribes wasn't fully implemented or implemented well, they valued it to the point that they created those Tribes learning communities in their classroom.
Tribes spoke to me on an intellectual level. Through past experiences, I knew it would be important while teaching. It was a teaching pedagogy that I knew I would use in the classroom.
Tribes is reflective of my core beliefs. I think Tribes takes your core beliefs and gives you a really nice way of applying them to the curriculum and teaching. It takes what I safely do as a teacher and puts a name on it, and then gives me other ways to do the same thing.
Forming a community and making a place that feels safe is really important. The way I teach now is because of Tribes training. The things that kids tell me and the way they open up to each other is pretty remarkable. You don't think that primary students have that many emotions, but they do, and they sure tell you if they feel safe enough to do so. I feel that if I know more about their personal side, then I can help them on their academic side. And I can work better with the parents too.
One of the things that I learned from the teachers who had been in my cohort group was that they learned a range of teaching strategies when they did the Tribes training that was very helpful to them when they got their own classrooms in terms of building rapport with students and developing a sense of community, going from different ways of grouping students so that all students in the class get a chance to get to know each other, to strategies that encourage the development of community, problem solving, decision making, and getting to know you. Strategies like community circle, 2 truths and a lie, partner introduction, and we also use talking sticks, which is another very effective strategy for just making connections with people in class and talking about what was really important to them in their life.
I think Tribes helped us to realize the importance of building a community with our students, that when kids feel safe and comfortable in their learning, then they're going to be more open to share their ideas and explore their curiosity. If they don't have that feeling of trust and respect from their peers and know that they're attentively listening, if they don't have that, then they're not going to be willing to open up and learn and to ask the questions that they want to ask. I think Tribes made us realize that you need to have that foundation before you can even get to the curriculum. You need to have that first.
I know I'm prepared to build a safe environment in my classroom. I need to be more prepared in terms of curriculum connections. Sometimes it stresses me out that it's not there with my academics, but that will come in time.
Teaching was a big culture shock at first. Tribes set me up for what was coming. It set me up for what to expect when going into the classroom. Tribes helps you get over that nervousness. The kids are just as nervous as you are. How do you break down those barriers, yours and theirs, to get where they are? Tribes helps. It gives you strategies.
As a teacher, Tribes gave me hope. It is scary to be a first-year teacher. You have lots of doubts, lots to figure out. Can I handle the curriculum? Can I handle the classroom management piece? Tribes is like the glue that makes it all come together. You can do the classroom management and the curriculum when you have Tribes working, and then they all work together.
Tribes is really about emphasizing what the overall goal is in terms of teaching life skills so that these kids will be successful later in life. It's not about getting the kids from a level 2 to 3 or 3 to 4. It's about the whole person, and there's so much more than an academic thing. Where I am with these kids, their whole life is about social interactions, and they need these skills. It is all about these skills.
Creating a Tribes learning community requires that everyone, all the people that are involved in the school community, understand, believe in, internalize, model, and act upon all of the Tribes agreements so that you can create a positive, caring learning community that maximizes the learning for everyone.
Beauty, stop my heart. Like the time we wished on stars, forgot about our scars and our fears of the dark. You love, 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 and that's so good. But then your soft and shaky voice, it echoed through me like the noise of church bells.